During their 25 years of marriage, Lou and Ann Costello had 4 children. The first, Patricia Ann, known as Paddy, was born in 1936. Daughter Carol Lou came along in 1939. Lou Jr., nicknamed Butch, was born in 1942. And the youngest daughter, Chris, came along in 1947. Sadly, Ann and Lou lost Butch in a drowning accident 3 days before his first birthday. Carol, who had battled health problems since birth, passed away in 1987. Chris and big sister Paddy are now the keepers of the Costello flame. They enjoy sharing memories of their life with Father, with longtime fans as well as those who are just discovering the classic comedy of the Abbott and Costello Show.
Well, season 2, you know, has these wonderful skits, the burlesque skits. But I think what you're missing are the other elements of the other people, you know, to join in on those skits, which made it funny too. But still, I mean, season 2 is great. You know, you have just a different sort of take on it versus season 1. Well, it could have just been with season 2, prior commitments on behalf of Joe Besser and Hillary Brooke. I know that Hillary had other commitments, and so I think she would have stayed, you know, had she didn't have the other commitments going on. Joe Besser, I'm not really that sure, you know, didn't he also work as one of the Stooges at one point?
That's right.
Yeah, but season 2 still has a lot of interaction, a lot of fun.
Did you get anything out of it? Go ahead, you look. There's something in here. Yeah, papers. Well, now look at that. I'll never do that to me.
The shows were not making any money, so I don't know who opted to pull the plug. I mean, back then, they had to have sponsors, you know, and so it could have been maybe sponsors pulling out. It could have been that, you know, it just wasn't the right timing for it. I'm not sure about if the I Love Lucy show was kind of running around the same time. But I think it could have been just a combination of sponsors pulling out, the network not feeling it was really right for that time, Dad probably not wanting to put any more money into it. And then I just think 20-some years later, bingo, you know, it's just the show sees a revival. And I wish he were here to see that. Of course he is. He is. Dad was a dancing juvenile in Ann's show. This was burlesque. Mom was in the chorus and was called a pony, which is the shortest girl on the end. And, you know, Dad had his eye on her and thought she was pretty cute. And Ann said that, you know, he wanted to ask Mom out. And, you know, so but he wanted Ann to do the asking for him because he was very shy. She said, well, okay, Lou, I can ask her out for you, but you're going to have to be the one to go out on the date. So Ann said that she went up to our mom and said, you know, Lou Costello really is interested in going out and having a cup of coffee with you. And she said, why would I want to go out with a comic? You know, I could starve on my own. She did agree, and she was standing in the wings watching him do a number out on stage one night, and he turned and accidentally knocked a very tall hall tree off stage, which hit her out and knocked her out cold. And I guess after that they decided to get married. But
he broke her neck too. Yeah, remember? Car accident.
oh,
This was before I was born. They were driving back. It was very late. He had done a late show or something like that. And he fell asleep at the wheel, drove off an embankment. And we have a picture of Mom actually with
the body cast?
Yeah, well, that brace around her neck. She had fractured, I guess, a vertebrae in the neck. So all things considered, she was a lucky woman, you know, to have been able to walk and do everything like that afterwards. So I think that the Costello family was so fortunate to have Lou Costello as the head of the family. You know, he was raised in an Italian family, and Italian families are very close. And he adored his family. He always put his family first. We were so lucky, I think, as kids to be so nurtured, really. I mean, I have such wonderful memories of my childhood, and that's thanks to my mom and my dad, truly. I mean, they were just wonderful that way. Dad, he adored his mother. He adored his father. He adored all of his family members. But like his mother, for example, I mean, the woman, he was certainly on a pedestal. But again, I think that goes back to the Italian upbringing. I think most men love their mothers. I have 3 sons and 1 daughter, and I hope my boys love me. But no, he just adored his parents.
He used to go every, was it weekend? I can remember getting in the car with him to go have here's very East Coast coffee clutch, you know, with Grandma. And we would drive down to the house, and I never forgot him sitting in the breakfast nook, and she'd give him coffee, and he'd take a donut. He'd bring a box of donuts, and he would dunk the donut in the coffee and eat it. And I can remember thinking, that is so, and the juice would just be trickling down his chin. To this day, I can't have a donut without a cup of coffee, just to dunk it in. But yeah, you know, he was very East Coast in the way he was raised, and then when he brought the family out from the East Coast, I think he kept a lot of that Jersey influence, you know, there, which was nice.
Grandma used to refer to him as my star. Now, Aunt Marie, Dad's sister, she would say, well, what's the matter with me? Don't I count?
No, she used to say, well, she finds out she had a daughter.
You're right.
Well, both men, Dad and Bud, had partners, and Dad's partner got sick one night. Bud was on the same bill and decided to fill in. Bud was probably one of the most sought-after straight men on the burlesque circuit. Everybody wanted to work with Bud. Bud had a little bit more years on the stage than Dad did, and so he went in and filled in for Dad, our Dad's partner, and I guess magic was made that night, and then Dad was off to the Lyceum Theater somewhere else, maybe Chicago or Philadelphia, and Buddy emailed him. Bud sent a telegram to him and said, you know, would you like to team up? And Dad responded back, yeah, I'll be back, you know, whenever, and let's talk further, and of course they did. But I think it's the chemistry. It's like you can't manufacture that kind of chemistry. It's got to be there. And I think the two of them just clicked.
Two pieces of the puzzle. They just fit together perfectly.
You know the guy's names on the baseball team?
Yes.
Well, go ahead. Who's on first?
Yes.
I mean the guy's name.
Who?
The guy playing first.
Who?
The guy playing first base.
Who?
The guy on first base.
Who is on first?
What are you asking me for? I don't know.
Ted Collins with the Kate Smith Show noticed that when they started doing the Kate Smith Hour, the voices were very similar in terms of range, and for the listening audience, he was concerned that the people wouldn't be able to tell who was Dad and who was Bud. So he had suggested to Dad, you know, do something with your voice, you know, alter it a little bit or something, so that, you know, people can tell the difference between you and Bud. So that's when Dad started incorporating, you know, the higher pitched voice and the whine, and then from that, of course, came I'm a Bad Boy, but that was conceived in radio, which he then carried over into his film career.
I'm a bad boy.
Bud was a gentle, gentle giant, very soft-spoken, beautiful, beautiful human being, and I think he was very easygoing, very relaxed. He would have been relaxed staying in burlesque. He might have been relaxed just staying, you know, with Abbott and Costello, you know, even though their popularity was waning some. Dad was a little bit more of the aggressive one. Same as with Laurel and Hardy, really. It was Stan Laurel who was the engine, you know, to the team, and I think it was the same thing with Dad. And I think because, as Paddy said, Dad was so goal-oriented that I think he just kind of naturally stepped into that position and to the plate You know, I mean, it evident, you know, like with Universal, with the Andrews sisters. Dad tackled the big boys at Universal. He did not care. And he said to Universal, until you get the Andrews sisters a trailer that's decent, he said, you know, we're not coming back on the set. You know, I just think with Bud was very comfortable with Dad's decisions. He usually followed through with whatever Dad wanted to do. They did have their disagreements, of course they did. You know, it'd be foolish to say no, they didn't, of course. But I think it's because they were so uniquely different, and yet they were like brothers. They fought like siblings. Maybe that's the best way to put it. They were like brothers.
But they were together for something like 26 years, which is like a marriage.
Yeah.
And you have to, I mean, there are bound to be disagreements, you know, in a situation like that. But
they were very protective of each other.
they had a lot of fun with one another, too, like one-upsmanship. If one got a car, the other one would have to get one bigger. Whatever one did, the other one would try to outdo.
When what was it, Dad put the pool in, Bud put his pool in, but it had to be a foot longer.
At Christmas time, too, it was, sometimes it got a little out of hand with the gifts, I think, between Dad and Uncle Bud. And Bud called Dad and said that he was having his gift delivered, and it was coming in a truck. So Dad got all excited, couldn't imagine what this could possibly be. And everybody, all the family gathers around, and this truck pulls up, and there's this huge, huge gift, beautifully gift wrapped. And Dad is so excited, he unwraps it, and it turns out to be a huge bale of hay for the horse.
Oh, God.
Dad's racehorse, you know? So, I mean, they were always doing things like that to one another, having a lot of fun at the other's expense. They were like two kids together, really.
Cash register.
Yeah, but here, you put it in.
Give me them.
Hey, wait, hey, before you put it in here, wear the hat.
Oh, what's that got to do with it? That's where it belongs.
That's cute.
I loved going to Universal. Dad would take us there on weekends when he was shooting. We, at that time, pretty much had free reign of the place. We could run around and do whatever we wanted. We knew when we had to be quiet, where we could go, where we couldn't go. My grandfather, Dad's dad, loved the Westerns also, and loved the Western sets. So we liked to go and explore those. And I know that my grandmother, and when her sisters would come out to visit from the East Coast, it was such a thrill, you know, to be able to go to Universal and to be on a set and to see all of the props. They really enjoyed that.
I think the one that I remember is going on location when they were doing Dance With Me, Henry. And it was way out in the far end of the valley, and I got to take some school friends with me, and he was very generous that way. And, of course, all the cousins. But I don't recall Universal that much.
I think I was so lucky that way.
Yeah.
I've spent so much time out there.
What didn't the makeup people used to...
Oh, that's what they would do.
Yeah.
You know, if there was a lull in shooting, you know, or they were waiting to break the sets or to get them set up, we would sit in the makeup chairs, my sister Carol and I, and they would put scars on us or make us up. We were pretty young, you know, to look like glamour girl. We thought it was so exciting. The crew was so good to us. It was just a magical experience, really and truly. And then we would go to the gym. Dad's friend Frankie Van ran the gym, and we'd work out in the gym next to Yvonne DiCarlo or whoever would be there. We'd get bored with that. So we'd go to the projection room, and some poor projectionist has to sit there and show us. I watched every Johnny Mac Brown movie that was ever made. Universal for us was just, that was our Disneyland, really and truly. It was such a magical place. Glenn Strange, he was...
just a kid.
What I remember about him would be just stories that when they were actually making Frankenstein, and he played, you know, the Frankenstein monster, and Chris was just a baby, and Mom took her to the set. And Glenn Strange was a very sweet man, totally opposite of what you would expect, but a very gentle, kind, sweet man. And he wanted to hold her. And so Mom puts the baby in his hands, and she took one look at him. Well, they had to stop everything. And my dad says, you got to get her out of here. Take her home, Ann. Take her home. And poor Glenn Strange couldn't figure out what he had done, you know. As far as the dissolving of the partnership, I think being together for 26 years, realizing that I think that they had accomplished what they had set out to do, and probably reached a point where they figured that was as far as they could go. Dad wanted to go on to other things. He had a dramatic streak in him that he was that he wanted to explore. He did a dramatic turn on Wagon Train, and I think one or two other shows too. Yeah. And that didn't leave room for Bud, you know. But I think Bud was really ready to kind of, I think he was satisfied with that, so to speak.
I think too, you know, the comedy was changing.
Oh, very big time, yeah.
If you look at the earlier films, they were younger, their energy was higher. I think with his recurring bouts of the rheumatic fever, True. I think that was catching up with him. I remember like seeing some of the older films like Go to Mars and stuff like that, and you know, you can see, you know, just that they were a little bit slower.
I think time just caught up with them, really.
Yeah.
We're not going to the moon. We're headed for Mars.
The Abbott family was an extension, you know, of our family. I remember that it was always Uncle Bud, Aunt Betty.
Right.
You know, Paddy and Carol, probably more so than myself, because was at Bud and Vicky's birthday parties as they were to theirs. Yeah, I think they did socialize, you know, a lot, and you know, to this day, the Abbott and the Costello families remain very close, which is really nice. When it comes to people, you know, talking about Dad and stuff, you know, one of the favorite questions, the most oftentimes asked, is about the tax situation, dying broke, and all I can say is that I spent probably 2 days interviewing Arthur Manella, the attorney, for my book on that situation. Everything was paid off before his death. He did not die broke, nor did Bud. I think they made some very foolish decisions as far as investments, but on the other hand, they certainly didn't die destitute. And I think that's one thing I'd like to just kind of clear up, you know, with the income tax. And no, they weren't trying to defraud the U.S. government. It was a simple mismanagement of somebody who worked for them that didn't file payroll taxes and kept filing extensions.
I think that Dad was a sitting duck for a lot of people because he trusted people. When we went to Europe on the Queen Mary, we were doing Dad was building an addition to the house. And he gave the person whom he was employing to see to that money to, you know, for the supplies. When we came back from the trip, I can remember my Mom and Dad talking about how the place smelled like they could smell smoke. And it turned out that this man went and bought all this lumber at a fire sale and pocketed the rest of it. He also wound up in jail after a while, you know, for some other shenanigans of his, but because Dad was so trusting, you know.
And also back then, you know, actors were actors, business managers were managed their
That's
business.
It. You know, you hired
it wasn't
people
like
to take
it
care
is
of that
today,
stuff.
where people are more savvy with their own, you know,
He was
affairs.
just a very trusting individual.
Yeah.
Here we go. Place your bets.
Dad, I know, loved to gamble so much that when he was in bed with rheumatic fever, that he had this betting thing with the nurse called Guess the Blood Pressure. And I don't know. I don't know where he got the gambling gene. I just know that I inherited it. I love it. It's wonderful. He used to, I think, love going to Vegas and playing blackjack and stuff, and of course every time he'd win he'd scream for a photographer because he wanted the photographer to record it. But yeah, they both, and the horses, of course.
When he was gambling in Vegas, you could hear him all over the casino yelling, "Picture!" Playing blackjack, "Picture!"
My dad had everybody sign their oath of allegiance during the McCarthy era. And John Grant was the one who told him no. Not because he was. It was just he didn't feel that he had to justify any of his beliefs to my dad, whom he had known since burlesque. And so Dad said, "Then you're fired." And John said, "Fine." And I don't believe they spoke. You know, again, although I think, looking back, that Dad was just so, how would you put it? He was just so much for America.
He was.
You know, and that the thought
Well,
of
I can remember him when
communism-
he was recuperating from one of his bouts of rheumatic fever, just mesmerized by the McCarthy hearings, just couldn't take his eyes off of that television set, just mesmerized. He was on the entertainment committee too when
Was he?
Eisenhower was elected, and big Republican at that time.
That I am not either a Republican or a Democrat. I am in the middle. That is commonly known as the fusion party. I have done away with that too. I stand behind my party. Confusion. Pardon me.
Dad got stopped a couple of times by police on Ventura Boulevard. He drove like a maniac. You couldn't even read the license plate of the car in front of you, you know.
And he never had a license.
Yeah, but anyhow, he got stopped, and he had the cop so hysterical. The man was crying. I mean, the cop used to come and visit us at the house. I mean, it was really funny. And one of the stories goes is Carol, our sister, you know, who unfortunately passed away. I guess she took some donuts or ate a donut when she wasn't supposed to.
Mom said, "Carol, do not touch those donuts."
Right.
It was for a sheer luncheon. And Carol said, "I won't, Mom, I won't."
So the doorbell rings, and Carol opened up the door, and it's the
cop.
policeman. And Carol broke down. "I'll never do it again. I promise I'll never do it again." It was so, kid was so totally traumatized. But that was Dad and the police, you know?
I catch you into this hotel.
I assaulted a cop.
Shake, pal.
Dad was adventurous somewhat and wanted to go into different fields of entertainment. He had a good singing voice, and there was actually talk of him doing Fiorello on Broadway. Unfortunately, you know, he became ill and couldn't follow through with that, but I think he liked some of the work behind the scenes, so to speak, whether it's producing or... I never did hear him talk about directing as such, but he wanted to have some hand in putting things together.
I think he'd have been good as a director.
He was, Dad was very, Bud was the more mild-mannered person of the two, which kind of surprises a lot of people. And Dad, you could just see, he was more goal-oriented.
And I think had he lived, you know, I think he would have been like a George Burns, a great dramatic actor, finding another niche.
But he had a beautiful
George
singing
Burns did.
voice,
Yes.
and people aren't even aware of that.
Go ahead, sing.
Oh, I love Jeannie with a light.
Make this up a little higher, Joe.
hair.
Little higher.
I love Jeannie with light brown hair.
Joe, can you hear me up there?
And I
A little higher.
And it's so sad that he passed away so young, because he really didn't get a chance to do the things he wanted to do. I can remember him telling me shortly before he died he had an idea for a script, and he explained it to me
was it?
about a little Italian priest. And you know, going on and how excited he was, and he wanted to put that together. So it's just a sad thing that he had to pass away so young, because he could have done some great things. Well, he did do great things.
Greater things.
Greater things, more greater things. There are certain things that I will see, and for example, I know that Jerry Seinfeld is a big Abbott and Costello fan, and you know, I think Dad would just love to see his work, and I think Whoopi Goldberg too.
Whoopi Goldberg, and also
Carol Burnett. I know that Dad would appreciate
John Candy. I just, for some reason, always thought of John Candy, who's one of my favorite. And sad that he's not here, but I think Dad could have definitely related to John Candy. I loved his humor, a little bit of slapstick. You know, the expressions kind of remind me of what Dad would do if maybe Dad, you know, were, you know, in that sort of league today. He were here doing comedy. It could seem like a John Candy. I think Dad was fascinated with gadgets, you know, anything electronic. And probably because of his own beginnings, you know, as a boy in Paterson, New Jersey, where there wasn't a lot of money. I think that when he made it big, he wanted to capture as much as he could onto film. Oof.
Christmas, Easter, birthdays, big events. You have to understand Lou Costello was the biggest kid of them all. Now, especially at Christmas time, our house, we had cars lined up for miles to come and see our house. Dad had everything decorated, but I guess movable parts electronically. We had Santa on the roof with the reindeer, the whole bit.
Moving reindeers, mechanical reindeers.
It was spectacular. Now, mind you,
it was also very frightening because my bedroom was right in the center where those reindeers were outside, so I would see their shadows moving on the wall, and I would think, oh my, it scared the,
But I have to tell you about our neighbor across the street,
George Goebel.
George Goebel figured there is no way he's going to beat Lou Costello, right? So he just has a little sign printed up that says, "See our display across the street."
With a little light bulb.
Right.
He had a little light bulb on the top of the gate.
I thought that was priceless.
With the sign, I know, with an arrow that said, "See our display across the street." The neighbors couldn't compete with him. They wouldn't compete with him. And he would have this thing, he would tell, what was the butler's name, Sven?
The Swedish butler?
Yeah. About nobody turns the switch on but me. And I'll be the one that was a big thing for him. And I guess one night he was late getting out of Universal. He was caught in all that traffic trying to come up the street, and nobody knew what to do, so they put the switch up, you know, and on came the lights, and the traffic started moving. He was livid, absolutely livid. That was his thing. And then he would always also go out in the front yard and pass out candy canes to the kids. And I can remember as a kid going out there and helping them.
Yeah.
To this day, what is so interesting is that I'll occasionally run into somebody and they'll say, "Do you know, my parents used to take me as a kid in the car and go to your home during Christmas just to see the lights." And she said, "I never forgot that." So it's...
I think the bottom line was he loved people, he loved making them happy, and he was so generous, really, such a generous soul, and just wanted to make people feel good and to just make them happy.
Yeah.
I'm Pat. I'm Carol Costello. This is the Christmas of 1946. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one-horse open sleigh. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride, and soon Miss Fanny Bright was seated at my side. Her horse was lean and lame, misfortune seemed her lot. We got into a drifted bank and when we got inside, Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open sleigh. We want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. To Grandma and Grandpa on their 45th wedding anniversary.
Merry Christmas, Carol. What did Santa Claus bring you this Christmas?
Well, from Daddy I got a nice camera, and from Mother I got a nice big sewing machine.
How wonderful. What did Santa bring you, Paddy?
Well, I got an adding machine and a doll and lots of other things. And above all...
A pool table you got too, didn't you?
Oh, yes, that.
Yes.
And above all, I got this water pistol.
Oh, that's nice.
Paddy, did you hang up your stocking Christmas Eve?
Yes, it's one of Daddy's.
Carol, did you hang up your stocking Christmas Eve?
Yes, too, it's one of Daddy's.
It is? And what did you find in your socks?
Daddy.
Oh, I balled that one up.
Well, you know, kids, you had a very good Christmas, didn't you?
Oh, yes.
Santa Claus was very good?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it. I mean, after all, like Santa Claus once said, he said that he who, with the reindeers, he's got about Thunder, Blitzen, and the three Andrew sisters. He's got the reindeers that come over with the white stuff. What do you call it?
Snow?
Who?
Snow? Santa Claus?
Snow what?
White.
Snow White?
White.
No, Santa Claus, when he's coming over the roof, you know?
Oh, yeah.
With the bag of toys. He was bringing a bag over the roof one night. He dropped it down my chimney here, and I couldn't go for it. I said, get it out of here. I said, well, I didn't want it. What do you say we set up the pool table, and we start to knock the balls in, huh?
All right. I can knock them all in. I said I can.
You both want to bet me you can knock in more than I can?
Yeah.
You got to bet. And you got to bet. Okay?
And you got to bet.
Let's get up. Come on, everybody get up. I say this is going to be a very, very nice Christmas for all the children in Los Angeles. I mean, all the children that down in the neighborhood where Daddy built the foundation for 4,300 little boys and girls. And next Christmas, they'll be able to use it. In fact, we're going to open up the foundation around January 18th or the last day of January. And then it'll be open for all those poor kids down there. They're going to have a 40 by 80 swimming pool and a clinic and basketball courts and handball courts and everything that you'd like to have. You're going to go down and visit the kids every once in a while and swim with them and play with them? Play baseball with them? Huh? Well, I'm going to invite you both down to the opening of the foundation around January the 18th. You'll be there?
Yes.
And I want you to put on your evening clothes. Huh?
When are we going, in the day or in the night?
No, it's in the evening.
Oh, in the evening.
In the evening. I'll wear a tuxedo and you wear your evening clothes, okay?
All right.
All right. Then for January 18th, until then, I will see you all soon and you go to bed right soon, right? Go have yourself an ice cream soda and take your clothes off and go to bed. And while we're on it, let's say a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to Jean Lester and Mrs. Jean Lester. Come on. A Merry Christmas to Jean Lester and Mrs. Jean Lester. That's sweet, isn't it?
Yes.
Thank you.
This is Pat Costello, and I'm substituting for my little dame, Susan. This is her first Christmas. She would have been here. Well, we were taking these things rather late at night, and she's now in bed about 2 hours. But Susan would like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Pat, I want to wish a very, very Merry Christmas and a very, very happiest of New Years. And while we're on the subject, I want to thank you very much for your Christmas present. From you to me, it was wonderful.
Well, thanks very much.
Very beautiful thing.
And I want to thank you very much for yours.
Oh, did I give you that? Hello. Jean Lester?
Hi, Lou.
Oh, Jean, how are you?
Fine. How are you?
Good. How's everything?
Fine. What's new?
Oh, nothing much, Jean, nothing much. When are you going to come over and take the pictures?
Oh, the gang ought to be over here any minute now.
Oh, that's good. Then I'll hang up. I'll see you when you come over.
Fine.
See you later, Gene.
So long, Lou.
So long, Gene. Goodbye, Gene.
Goodbye, Lou.
Gene Lester.
We're on our way to church. And when we come back, we're going to show you all our Easter bunnies and baskets, too.
Oh, good. Now let's all sing Easter Basket.
In your Easter basket.
Wait a minute. There's the Easter parade. Come on.
Let's go.
We just got home from Mass, and this is the wonderfulest Easter we ever had. With all the bunnies and the chocolates and candies, too.
And are we going to have a tummy ache tomorrow?
Me too.
Oh, look what the Easter bunny left me. And, oh, look what the Easter bunny left me.
Ooh, look what the Easter bunny left me. My goodness.
Look what the Easter bunny left me. Laid another egg. Well, now that we're all back over here, we're back home, and the Easter bunny left us all these presents. What do you say we sing something?
Okay.
What do we
Patty
sing?
and Carol, how about singing Zippity-Doo-Dah?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let's sing Zippity-Doo-Dah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine heading my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. It's the truth, it's actual. Everything is satisfaction. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Wonderful feeling, wonderful day. Now the song is over. Ew. We want to thank our mother and daddy for the wonderful Easter they've given us. And I do, too. Now we're going to sing something in French. I hope Daddy understands it, too. Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, semolematina, ding-dong, ding-dong, ding. English translation. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Brother John, hear the bells, ding-dong, ding-dong, ding.
Well, I'm glad you made that translation in English for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you kids know the story of Easter?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Well, Paddy, you tell me the story of Easter.
Okay. Well, one time when they crucified Jesus, they buried him. And so they're all around the tombstone, and that stone grew very light, and he appeared there. And then Mary Magdalene and his mother came, and they couldn't find him. And they said they had taken him away. And so when they found out that he'd risen from the dead, that was the first Easter.
That was the first Easter?
Uh-huh.
Well,
First
that's
Easter
nice.
morning.
Isn't that nice, Carol?
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. That's very nice.
Paddy, that was a very nice about the first Easter.
Thank you.
Now, I'm going to tell you a story about the last Easter. When I say the last Easter, I mean the last Easter that the little children of Los Angeles will have to go out and play in the streets. Because
next Easter will be the first Easter that they will be able to go inside and use the foundation.
That's nice.
We will open it, see, and this is 1947. And the children will be able to use it in 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks after this Easter, today. And they're going to go in there and they're going to roller skate and swim and play baseball and football and ice skate. They've got everything down there.
Isn't that wonderful?
So that's really going to be a nice Easter for the children. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
And then when the thing is open, the foundation is open, you children are going to go down and play with them, aren't you?
Yeah.
Paddy's going to go down and teach the little children down there her age how to swim.
That's wonderful.
Carol's going to go down and teach them how to ride the horses. Is that right?
Go.
And just one more thing.
And a happy Easter to you.
Mr. and Mrs. Lou Costello invite you to the first teenage party of their daughter, Patricia Ann, on Saturday, the first day of October. We want all the kids. We want all the grown-ups there, too. It says bring your boyfriend and your girlfriend. I'd like to introduce you to Mrs. Lou Costello. She's really the one that started the whole works. Isn't she pretty? Get your hands off that Seaberg, Lou. You'll dirty it. And hands off. Show them the kitchen. That's enough. You showed them. That's enough. And that's enough. Please, back to the main title, if you don't mind. There it is, Mr. and Mrs. Lou Costello. Ha, ha. Bring boyfriend and girlfriend. Well, this is the house where Patricia Ann was really brought up. That's it. Stay in your own backyard. And the grass is much greener, so they say. Hi-chi-ho-chi-chi-chi. It's a union band we got here, you know. I can't stop them from playing. It's a strong union. Only hired them for 3 hours. They've been here for 9 now. I don't know where they're going to get paid. Well, there's the backyard. And there are the men. They're putting up the umbrellas. Here he is, the French impresario. Of course, you're all wondering where my pants are. Well, you know, Abbott and I play 7-card stud poker. He's got 'em. He's got 'em up at his house. Well, Lou, take a look at the 10 over there and see what you think of it. Look at that kid Skip. He just got over a long siege, you know. Some balloons, eh, boy? I know what's on your mind, kid. No, no. No. Oh, here it comes. Well, this party begins with a bust. Oh. Now we're in our Hawaiian lanai. And the kid is just walking around showing off his new gadgets. Go help yourself to a cigar, Lou. You need one. No, that's it. Take one out. Attaboy. That's it. We see it. It's probably the only one in there.
Well, Paddy, happy birthday on your 13th birthday.
Happy birthday, Paddy.
Well, Christy, what's my name? Thank you, sweetheart.
Good.
I want to see if everything is ready.
Now, we'll
Come
see
on.
if everything's
Let's walk around
ready
this
for
way.
the party.
That's good. Well, that's our little prize, is 2-year-old Christy. And there's the guest of honor, Patricia, and her sister, Carol Lou. My, but they look pretty tonight. They look pretty every night. And here she is, Loretta Young. She's gorgeous, too, you know. Oh, here they come, the guests. Mr. and Mrs. Burns and Father Morrissey, Jules and his wife, my sister Marie. Of course, you know there's a new addition now. The two of them walked in together. Of course, you couldn't see it. And here's Anna Mae Slaughter and a little beaver. That's Johnny McGovern. She's got a nice voice, too, that kid. Oh, they're in for a great night tonight. Here she is, the guest of honor, Patricia Ann, and her escort, Claude Jarman. Get the size of that kid. I better keep my mouth shut. He's from Tennessee, too, and that's what's got me worried. Well, here she comes, Loretta Young again. She's either looking for the powder room or Tom Lewis. Hello, honey. Well, here he is, my best friend, William Bendix, and his wonderful wife, Tess. Hiya, kids. Look at the smile on that fella. Hiya, Paddy. Well... Say something, Lou. Say something to your mother. That's my mother. Say something. She really started the whole works. And here she is. Frankie Van's wife, Lois. Get that shirt that kid's wearing. And Bobby Barber, my butler. And here's Bud Abbott. You think that box under there's a gift? That's full of 20s. He wants to get me in another game. Not tonight, Joe. Either these kids are dancing wrong, or I didn't pay the musicians. Most likely, I didn't pay the musicians. Well, there she is, the belle of the ball, little Christy and Harry Brown. Harry Joe Brown. Hiya, Christy. Look at that kid go. Here he is, my butler. You're going wrong, kid. Hey, Bobby, you're going wrong. Bobby, can't you take a shortcut? Isn't that kid from Tennessee handsome? My, oh, my. If he ever comes to my house with a raccoon hat, I'll... Hey. Oh, the kid... Hey, Bobby. Your pants, Bobby. Your pants. Bobby, your pants. This is a nice party. Will you get up? There he is, Frankie Van, and his little girlfriend, Anna Mae Slaughter. Bobby, will you pick up your pants and get off the floor, please? Get off? Well, there's... Oh, isn't that a cute couple? Hiya, Freckles. The little girl goes... Bobby, will you get off the floor? Pick up your pants and get off the floor. Look. I don't know. I always come back from this kid from Tennessee. Bobby, will you get off the floor, please? Get off the floor. Will somebody take a whack at him? Smack him, somebody. Thank you. Hello, Mother. I haven't got a bad voice. You know that, don't you?
Claude Jarman Jr. in the middle and Judy Lewis.
In the middle.
Well, with that.
I guess my hair. Well, I'm making a Western.
Not in the dark.
Well, do you like all the lights they got around here?
Yeah. But I want to see inside. That's what I want to see.
Well, we're going to go inside after. You just said hello to Paddy.
Hey, where is he?
And they're all out there. They're all having fun. Listen, where did you go this afternoon?
It's the Ice Valley.
You went to the ice valley? Oh, you want some ice cream?
Huh?
You want some ice cream?
No.
Oh, you do. Come on, let's get ice cream.
Here's a trio of birthday celebrators. Let's find out who they are. Could you start over on this gentleman's... What is your name?
Billy Fleming.
Billy Fleming. Next?
Karen Kester. Eddie Slaughter.
Okay. Are you having a lot of fun out here at the birthday party?
Wonderful time.
That's a very nice formal you have on, and that lovely orchid, too. Where did you get the orchid?
I got it from Eddie.
From Eddie? He's your escort tonight?
He got me, yes.
How's the rest of the family get in here?
Okay.
You're doing fine, too, huh? Well, that's swell. I hope you have a swell time tonight, and I know that you all are out here.
Thank you. Thank you. We will.
Here's a couple of boys we saw on the dance floor before. You having a fine time out here tonight, fellas?
Yes, we sure are. Tremendous.
Well, let's find out your names.
Mine's Lockie Brown.
Lockie Brown?
Yes.
And
I'm
yours?
Howard Elser.
Howard Elser. And you've been dancing out there?
Oh, yes, sir.
And what kind of dance do you really like best?
Oh, mostly fast. Well, medium, you know.
Medium? Does that mean rumbas or Latin American?
No, kind of slow.
You sort of like to know the gal that you're dancing with.
Yes, it helps.
Well, it's fine, fellas. Thanks very much for coming before our camera tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now let's find out who this gentleman is. What's your name?
Johnny McGovern.
Johnny McGovern.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the name you use all the time?
Well, most of the time.
What do you use the rest of the time?
Little Beaver.
Little Beaver. That's on the Red Rider Show.
Yes, sir.
When did you start doing the Red Rider Show?
That was about 3.5 years ago.
3.5 years. How old were you then?
I was 10 years old.
10 years old when you started being...
About 9.5, really.
Well, you look a little bit like the Little Beaver in the funny papers, too, in a vague sort of way. Let's put it that way.
Well, I got to put on my makeup, my wig, and everything in my outfit before I look much like him.
Well, thank you very much, Little Beaver. I hope you're enjoying the party. I know you are, like all the rest of the kids.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Here's a lovely young lady. Could we ask your name?
Cheryl Rogers.
What does the Rogers attach itself to? Who's your mother and daddy? Let's put it that way.
My father's Roy Rogers and my mother's Dale Evans.
Well, I bet you're pretty proud of him. Who's the young gentleman next to you, incidentally?
Bill Rush.
Bill Rush? Hi,
Yes.
Bill. You having fun here tonight?
Sure am.
Oh, swell. Have you been dancing out there?
Yeah, a little bit.
Did you do that one dance where you put your one foot out and then the other foot, sort of switch back?
Yeah.
Do you know what the name of that is called by any chance?
Maraca, isn't it? Luaspa.
La Raspa? Well, that's fine, and I hope that you have a lot more fun the rest of the evening.
Thank you.
Hello there. What's your name?
Anna Mae.
Anna Mae? That sounds familiar. Where have I heard that before?
Probably on the radio.
On the radio? What do you do on the radio?
Sing.
Sing, and what shows?
On the Abbott and Costello Kids Show and other shows.
Well, how many shows have you sung on?
Oh, 68.
68.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good round number, so...
On the Kids Show.
On the kids' show.
Mm-hmm.
And when did you sing in the Abbott and Costello show?
Oh, I believe in May.
May was the last time?
Yes, May was the last show.
Are you enjoying the party here
Oh,
tonight?
I should say so.
I want you to meet the cake. Look at the balloons. And to get back to the cake, it was given to Patricia by my mother. Looking at this food reminds me of one guy, Joe Barzo. What he would do to that food. Never mind Joe, what I'm going to do to it. It's a big fruit salad, ain't it? Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, Patricia. Look at those kids eat. Leave the plates, kid. There's Billy Fleming there. And there's Roy Rogers' little daughter. Not bad, huh, Paddy? Hiya, Ree. And Marty Dunmeyer, too. Well, I think the kids are having a wonderful time. I think Lord Jarman's having a wonderful time, and so is Patricia. In fact, all the kids are having a good time. We're back to the kid from Tennessee again. Johnny Mac Brown's boy, too. He's a handsome kid. It won't be long, he's going to be in pictures. Hello, Patsy. That's Patsy Burns. Well, we're ready for the cake now, and we're ready for Father Marcy.
Well, Paddy, it's a pleasure for me to be here this evening to celebrate this teenage party with you.
Thank you.
I've been with the family for quite a while, and I feel like one of them. And when I look around this evening at your wonderful mother and that great dad of yours, I can't but feel proud to be able to call myself one of the Costello family. I couldn't let the occasion pass without asking Almighty God to bless all of us here this evening, particularly our wonderful father of yours, who has devoted his life to doing good. And let us pray and hope that when we celebrate a party again, we will all be as happy as we are this evening.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Paddy. Happy birthday to you. Oh, may I give you the first kiss, honey?
Will you give me the first piece of cake, please?
Huh?
Cut it up, cut it up.
Huh?
Start cutting it up.
Cut it. Cut it.
Get a piece up.
So you can take
Yeah.
it out.
Go ahead, now cut it up. Over this way. Quick, quick.
And then it'll all be crooked.
That's all right. No. Go ahead, hurry.
Let's see.
Take out one
There's
piece.
a microphone.
That's right. Take. Take.
Well, you told me to do it.
I got it. That's a pretty good speech I wrote for Father Marcy, huh? Well, that's all. There ain't no more. No more pictures. See you later.
Loretta Young was a legendary actress who won an Oscar for The Farmer's Daughter and 3 Emmys for The Loretta Young Show. William Bendix was an actor and close friend of Lou's. He starred in the Babe Ruth story and Life of Riley, and he appeared with Abbott and Costello in Who Done It, as well as 10,000 Kids and a Cop. Claude Jarman Jr. was an actor, best known as Gregory Peck's young co-star in The Yearling. Anna Mae Slaughter was a singer on the Abbott and Costello Kids radio show. She later became a lounge singer in Las Vegas. Johnny McGovern was the announcer on the Abbott and Costello Kids radio show. He also played Little Beaver on the Red Ryder radio show from 1947 to 1950. Harry Brown was an actor who appeared with Abbott and Costello in Little Giant, The Time of Their Lives, The Noose Hangs High, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, Mexican Hayride, and Abbott and Costello Meet the Killer Boris Karloff. Bobby Barber was a comedian who appeared with Abbott and Costello in the Navy, Who Done It, Hit the Ice, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, Mexican Hayride, Abbott and Costello Meet the Killer Boris Karloff, Abbott and Costello and the Foreign Legion, Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man, Lost in Alaska, Abbott and Costello Go to Mars, The 30-Foot Bride of Candy Rock, and The Abbott and Costello Show. Frankie Van was an actor who appeared with Abbott and Costello in Buck Privates, Abbott and Costello Meet the Killer Boris Karloff, and Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man. Rocky Brown was the son of Lou's favorite movie cowboy, Johnny Mac Brown. Cheryl Rogers is the daughter of Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. She later became a television actress. Judy Lewis is the daughter of Loretta Young and Clark Gable. She later became a soap opera actress.
Gee, Isabel, look at Uncle Lou. Isn't he funny? Like Daddy just got a pie in his face. And kicked in the pants.
Oh, Chrissy, now come on. Don't you want to see Daddy? Look, Daddy. Daddy. Wave bye-bye to Daddy.
Say bye.
Oh, kiss. All right, you go with Paddy then.
Come on.
You go with Paddy and see the Let's see Daddy. You want some blankets?
Then he moves into a haystack again.
Cherry.
Gee, Isabel, look at Uncle Lou. Isn't he funny?
Daddy.
Gee, isn't Uncle Lou in a mess?
Oh, no.
Oh, Carol. I know.
Oh, no, not to Isabel. Look at the movie.
Let's watch.
Look at Uncle Lou. Oh, look. Daddy just got a pie in his face. Oh,
Look at
say hi to Uncle Lou. Wave bye-bye. Wave bye-bye to Uncle Lou.
Over here.
Yell it. Go ahead, yell it.
Everybody!
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, go in!
Okay, Merry Christmas, go in. Okay, get on your horse.
Oh,
Wow.
look at this.
Well, here we are. It's Christmas of 1950, and let's get real close, everybody. Let's get really in here.
Boy.
This is a Christmas of 1950, and it's Christy's third Christmas. Boy, you got a lot of toys, Christy.
Look at all the toys.
Holy gee. Now, let me see. Did you see what this doll does yet, Frissy? Huh?
What's the curse
Now,
down?
let me see what Now, let's see.
My name is Mama, and my mommy taught me to rhyme. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow.
Oh, yes.
And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. I can sing too.
Did he say that? Now, let's sing with the dolly. Don't sing. Now.
I can't sing this, Mommy. I've gone tired.
Oh.
But I'll sing my prayers and go to bed.
Now we all say the prayers.
Now
I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my... Don't sing, Carol.
I pray the Lord my Lord to keep. Good night.
Oh, well, that's a pretty doll. Here, that's your doll. Look over there. Isn't that a beautiful doll? Oh, isn't that pretty?
Well, we, the Costellos, wish everybody all over the world just as nice a Christmas as we have all had here, and we all wish you have nothing but good health and wealth, but mostly good health.
And what do you want to say?
Well, I wish everyone the same, too. We all had a wonderful Christmas this year, and Santa Claus was so good to all of us, wasn't he? Huh, Carol Lou?
Carol?
Well, I got a saddle and a cooling blanket, and that's all I really wanted.
Well, that's all you really want. That's what you got, huh?
And
Paddy, what you get?
I got a, let me see. Oh, I got a picture bazooka about that tall. And
a big set of luggage, did you?
Yeah, and a cooling blanket for my horse.
Yeah, the blanket for your horse.
Yeah.
And we bought some cows for the ranch, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Now we're going to ask Christy what she got. Would you stand up here, Christy, and tell Daddy what you got? Now, what did you get for Christmas?
A talking doll and a walking doll.
A talking doll and a walking doll, and what else?
And the train.
Well, who brought all that stuff? Are you ready, Gene? You ready, Gene? Now, wait a minute. Just a minute, Christy. Now, start from the beginning. The girl that I married.
The girl that I married will have to be a in thing gathering to the girl I call my own Miss Satin. I'm tired of singing.
Go ahead, talk to Daddy.
You sing the girl I married.
All right, you stand over here and I'll sing the girl that I married. The girl that I married is soft and sweet, and I'm the girl and I'm owning her. Is that right? Well, how do you sing it? Well, come here then. Sing Rip, Rip, Rip. Come on.
Rip.
Come on. No, come on.
Rip.
Rip.
Come on, sing.
Rip, rip, your past, don't you down the same? Merrily, 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 hear the lady scream.
Oh!
Wait a minute.
Well, say Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
And a Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Say, see you later, Goo!
See you later, Gra.
Say, I'm going to Grandma's for dinner.
Ah, take the baby away, Ann.
All right.
Well, we'll see you all for the Christmas of 1951. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Christy got for Christmas from Santa Claus, and the dog really talks.
Oh, this doll really talks?
Mm-hmm.
So does Christy. Christy, quiet! Let me hear the doll talk.
Oh, well, she sings. You listen to her now. You think Christy can sing? Listen to this.
My name is Mama, and my mommy taught me to ride. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. I can sing too. Down the bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. Down the bridge is falling down, my fair lady. I can't rest, Mommy, 'cause I'm tired.
Oh, you're tired?
I'll sing my prayers and go to bed.
Well, say your prayers now.
Now I'm bringing it down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to sleep. And if I cannot awake, I pray the Lord my... Hello, Mommy and Daddy.
I love you,
I love you.
and thank you for the Christmas gift.
Thank you for the Christmas presents.
And let me show you my new train.
Thank you, my new train. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, the sun is to rise and one horse open sleigh. Yay, jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, the sun is to rise and one horse open sleigh. Yay, jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, the sun is to rise and one horse open sleigh. Yeah. Sing a song of sixpence a pocket for the ride. For a penny back.
Birthday.
In the pie, when the pie was open, the bird began to sing. Was an hour dainty just to step before the king, and the king was in the counting all his money. Along came a blackbird, and he snapped off their nose. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mommy and Daddy. Happy birthday to you.
Jack.
Sprat.
No, Jack and Jill.
Jack and Jill went up the hill to get a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his cap, and Jill pretended stir.
And say thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I was very happy to be here.
I'm happy to be here
and talk to you.
and talk to you
On these moving pictures.
on these moving pictures.
Now look at me. Look at me. Chrissy. Now say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Look at me and wave.
Bye, everybody.
I love you all.
I love you all.
Look at me and wave. Show them the car and wave the car. Chrissy, wave the car up in the air.
Is that when you did the hula and I pulled the top down?
That was memorable. Or when you threw up on your dinner plate, that was memorable. Well, see, Mom and Dad sailed to Hawaii once or twice, and which was, I just thought that would be such a great experience, you know. And then Dad was working at one point, Mom put us on a plane, and we all went over to Hawaii. And so we didn't have Dad on that trip with us, but he had very good friends over there, some very, very good friends. And so we got to do a lot of things. We went to, Jim Spagnola and his family. I can remember going to the Army base there, I think it was Hickam Field, and going to boxing matches and things. And our uncle, my mother's sister's brother, husband, excuse me, was in the Navy. He was a career man. He took us to the naval base there, so we got to go on the ships and things of that sort. It was pretty exciting. But you never want to do a hula dance around her. You got to watch your clothes.
I'll make a note of that.